Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and I would like to say Happy New Year to everyone. It's 2018, oh my. So yeah, this is basically, what I'm doing with this video today is, it is a brand new video for a brand new series I'm doing, and it is basically like chronicling my journey with depression and finally accepting it and seeking the help that I needed. It may not be, the same way for everyone, but this is how I've done it. This is my journey, and my goal with this series is hopefully to help as many as I can realize that you are not alone. No one is ever alone. There are so many ways to talk through it, or to seek help, and you're not weak for finding the help that you need, because for a long time that was my deal. I felt like if I asked for help, I was weak. But, to start it off, okay? My first real big depression fight episode, whatever you want to call it, was when I was about 14-ish. And it was just one of those things where I realized I had so much loss in my life, between grandmothers and whatnot, even losing pets. That was always a thing as well. But I'm also one of those that I tend to care more than I should about things. I'm very open about that. And I care too much. A lot of the times that is what happens, is I care too much. And I think that was one of the major factors that kept me from seeking the professional help I needed. Was that, yes, I do know I care too much. But I was also at that point where I cared what other people thought. And so, for years and years and years, until, the end of 2017, I just put on a brave face. Smiled even when I wasn't feeling it. And I know that's what a lot of people do. I know a lot of people that, they have sought out help, or they're like me and thought it was a sign of weakness, and still think it's a sign of weakness to ask for help. And it's not. It takes a strong person to finally open up and admit that they have a problem and that they need help. Depression is not a contagious disease. It just happens. It's, it is what it is, essentially a chemical imbalance in the brain. That's what it is. And that can happen to anyone at any time. But I know I'm getting off of the storyline, the storyboard here. Getting off the timeline here. So I was about 14-ish, and that, I'm not gonna lie, I was a cutter. I'm not gonna lie about it. I consider myself a recovering cutter, or a recovering self-harmer, because I was self-harming. It didn't always go with cutting, it was just, bashing my hand into a wall until the whole hand was throbbing with pain and took my mind off of what was going on in my head. It happens. Some people do that, some people don't. They find other creative ways, or they find more productive, or, things creative wise to do, to get their mind off of it. And, that is a way of, it's part of mindfulness. And, when I was 15, 5 months before I turned 16, my father died. That was the downward spiral. That sent me, oh my God, it was bad. I started drinking, which is never a good substitute for anything. But I started drinking a lot and smoking marijuana. And to be honest, that was the one thing that actually kept me level-headed, was marijuana. But, there are states that have it legal for medical use as well as recreational use. My state, however, does not. So, therein lies the problem. The one thing that has always helped me, I can't do it. But, over the years, as a teenager, 16, come and went, 17, come and went, 18. Finally, I graduated high school, I got a job, and suddenly, in October, my mother went in for open heart surgery to have a valve replacement done. A week later, she died. A week later. Yeah. There went another. It was bad. Started drinking heavily again. And I started self-harming again. Pretty profusely, pretty regularly. I could not pull myself out of it. I felt extremely alone. I didn't know what to do with my life. I'm like, I'm not going to have this woman to turn to for the rest of my life. And people are always like, well, that was so long ago, you stop thinking about that, stop, remember her in a good way. And I do. I always remember my mother in a good way. But when you think about it, I have friends that their mothers are still alive. Some of them, their grandparents are still alive. Not me. All of my grandparents are gone. Both my parents are gone. And yeah, because 2003, Christmas Day, we get the call, my grandpa died. My last grandparent died. He apparently went peacefully in his sleep, but still, back to back. It was devastating. And when I got that news, it even hit me even harder because he was the father figure for me growing up. He was my best friend. But, a lot of people say it sounds weird to say, oh, why do you say your grandpa was your best friend? Well, in so many ways he was. But then, also my sister. My sister was my best friend for the last 2 or 3 years of high school. My senior year, I lived with my sister. I helped her with her kids. And, you know, of course, you know, the things I was doing always made them look like accidents. Like, you know, I cut my leg shaving in the shower. Oopsie. You know, that kind of thing. And nobody ever caught on. Until I met my ex-husband. He came across a little spot on my leg that, you know, couldn't be attributed to a shaving accident. Because it was very distinctly an X. But, yeah, things did not go well for me in my marriage. Which, like I said, October of 2003, my mother died. Christmas Day 2003, my grandfather died. And then in late January, early February, I met my now ex-husband. I met him. And then 3 months later, we were married. Yeah. It was one of those things where I thought I was in love. And I now realize that it was my fear of being alone. And I was with him for 8.5 years. And then we split up. So, yeah. Got 2 wonderful kids. Those are the best things that came from that marriage, were my 2 kids. But, you know, he doesn't see it this way, but he actually put me through a lot of emotional abuse. Or mental abuse. He doesn't see it that way, but, you know, when you sit there and you try to, you make an effort to look good for your spouse, and then they come home and they're just like, what are you dressed up for? Who are you going to see? Whether it's jokingly, in a joking manner or not, that does something up here. And I'm still fighting with my self-esteem to get it boosted from that. And it's been 5 years since we've been done, since we've split up and everything. It's been 5 years. I don't think he realized just how much he messed up my whole mental state. And still to this day, he won't admit that, you know. He'll just say, oh, well, I was joking. Joking or not. It hurts. It leaves mental scars. And, you know, what can I say? You know, can't make them see what they did, because they don't want to see. But yeah. Anyway, I have found that over the last 5 years, I've had good days and I've had bad days. But for some reason, 2017 really, it got me. I don't know what it was that triggered it, but it got me so bad, so down, that I could not dig myself out alone. And when I went and seen my, GP, he told me, when I switched GPs, really, because I was seeing a nurse practitioner, and then I switched over, because the nurse practitioner was keeping me on medications that were actually making me worse. So I switched doctors. And when I seen the new doctor for the first time, he he took me off of what the other doctor had me on and put me on new meds. Now, usually I am against pharmaceuticals, but again, the state I live in, I kind of have no other choice. But, finally my blood sugar are staying pretty level with the medication that the new doctor put me on, which I am very thankful for. And he actually finally told me that our local counseling center, they share a grant, a government grant, for those that, like me, who have no income, who have no insurance, to get the help they need. Now, a lot of people will say a lot of bad things about this counseling center, but so far, I'm impressed. It has helped me a lot. Now, like I said, this journey is just now beginning. I don't think I said that yet, but I just said it. This journey is just beginning to, get myself the way I need to be, or where I need to be. And also, I'm taking my YouTube very seriously this year. I know I said that last year, but this year is definitely, I'm doing it. And starting new with this series. You are not alone. Nobody is ever alone. There are outreach programs. There are apps you can get on your smartphone that help with, mindfulness exercises and, exercises that will help you to evaluate or reevaluate your whole being. And I know it sounds like a whole bunch of new age hooey, but there's one app that has actually helped me a lot. And I wish I could afford to pay monthly to unlock the whole program or the whole app. But it's an app called Calm. And it's helped me so much. Just with their, they've got a music section. Music, kind of like sound effects as well, that are played on a loop. And they're very calming. There's thunderstorm that help you sleep. There's rain, crickets, which I'm not really big on crickets, the cricket noises. Things like that. And it's very, I've enjoyed it. I've pretty much had to just keep redoing the same sections of the app because those are the ones that are unlocked in the free version. But it does help. And my counselor, she was the one that first showed me the app, and I thank her for it every time that I see her, because it does help. I thought it would never help, but it does. So I do highly recommend it, the Calm app, for sure. And I haven't tried any of the other apps that are supposed to be similar to it. I haven't tried those yet. But if any of you guys know of any apps, just leave them in the comments below. And I would definitely check them out or try them out. But I've been seeing a counselor for months now, and this is my first month. I've had a month and a half of time with my psychiatrist. I actually see a psych now. And I've been on medication for about a month and a half now. They have had to be increased. And I don't mind sharing what medications I am on. I started out on 5 milligrams of Boost Bar 3 times a day. And then also started out on 50 milligrams of Seroquel once a day at nighttime, because I had gotten so bad that I was getting 2 to 3 hours of sleep every 2 to 3 days. And when I did sleep, I was woke up with night terrors. So that was the night terrors and not getting sleep, and because your body can't function without sleep. You need rest and everything. There's like, that was the deciding factor in her putting me on Seroquel. 50 milligrams. Of course, when I told my sister about it, she was like, that's a pretty stout pill. That's a pretty stout medication. Pretty strong. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm on 50 milligrams. I take it at night before I go to bed. I didn't see a big deal about it. Well, I was on a 2-week, well, it turned into 3-week trial period on those two pills, those two medications. Well, it turns out Seroquel can make your it gives you restless legs. Well, I already suffer from restless leg syndrome. So she put me on a medication that is essentially for Parkinson's. The first one, well, I'm on another one now, but first one, benzotropine, something like that. That 1 milligram, that didn't do good. I got to the point where I could not swallow without drinking. I had to drink water just to swallow. So I stopped taking that one. Now, I had just seen her this past Friday. Turns out, after that 3-week trial period, Seroquel stayed the same. That's when she gave me the medicine for the restless leg syndrome. And then she ended up upping my boost bar from 5 milligrams 3 times a day to 10 milligrams twice a day. Okay. It was going good. It was doing what it was supposed to do. About 2.5 weeks ago, I started being restless. It was taking longer for me to fall asleep. I was waking up periodically throughout the night because I have a Fitbit wristband that I wear. I don't have it on right now because it's actually charging. It monitors my sleep, how long I sleep, and whether I'm restless or it notices restlessness and awake times in the night. And that thing has helped me so much with monitoring how much I sleep that it gives me more accurate reading to relay back to my doctors or my psychiatrist, whoever. And about 2.5 weeks ago, it started up again, where I was getting restless. I was waking up periodically. It was taking longer for me to fall asleep. But I was also having this deep, which I still am, still in this deep, like depressive state where I feel empty. Like, not that it's different from, I don't feel anything at all. Well, that's normal throughout the day. You're not going to feel anything at all, any emotions. But it was an empty void. And it's still there. But it's getting better. Or at least I feel like it's getting better. And it's always like one of those, like, get that gut feeling that something's wrong or something's going to happen. It's almost like that. But I don't feel like something bad's gonna happen. I just feel completely empty. Like there's nothing there. There's nothing. And that is like the worst feeling in the world. Is when you feel absolutely nothing. No matter what you're doing. You could be doing something you absolutely love. Like I absolutely love drawing. Or coloring. Or painting. I haven't picked up a paintbrush in a month. I haven't picked up a drawing pencil and a sketch pad in a month. So, I mean, that right there tells you something's not right. That right there told me something wasn't right. So I made sure when I seen my psych this past Friday, I made sure and let her know all of that. And that was when she made the decision to increase my medication. My Seroquel is now 100 milligrams once a night, or once a day. I take it at night, so I say once a night. But my boost bar, she increased it from 10 milligrams twice a day to 30 milligrams twice a day. That's quite a jump. And that right there tells me that, you know, she's really wanting me to get leveled out. Which, if it hadn't been for my counselor looking up my diagnosis in their computer, because they're in the same building on the same computer system. So, my official diagnosis is bipolar type 1 with hypomania. And from what I've gathered from my psych and a few others, that is a strange combination. But there you have it. So I have an official diagnosis. I am on medical treatment, or medication treatment. And, you know, as anyone that has ever went through psychiatric help knows, finding that medication balance is the longest, most gruesome thing. Because you will go through times where the medication will not make you feel right. Like right now, my body's still trying to adjust to that, 20 milligram jump on the boost bar. It's, still trying to adjust. So, and also you got to think about the interactions between my other medications for my pain management regimen for my back, my degenerative disc disease, and my hip. Interactions of all these. I tend to get drunk without drinking alcohol. So, that's always, but once my body gets used to it, it levels out and I'm good to go. But yes, the medication process is the hardest thing for me, because I'm wanting it to help right then and there, and it's not. It's something that gradually helps, and sorry, got thirsty. But I want to be happy. I want to be, the one that gets up and actually ventures outside. Of course, not this time of year, because it's too damn cold. But I want to be able to get out and actually want to be out. Be out in the sun. Because my sister, she swears up and down. She's like, get outside, stop being a vampire, get out and get some sun, you'll start feeling better. And I'm like, yeah, but it's too cold. She's like, well, in the summertime, well, it's too hot. And she's like, you always have an excuse. I'm like, I wouldn't have an excuse if it would just stay like October weather all year long. Nice fall weather where you just need a light jacket on some days. But, that'll never happen. Where I live, we get maybe 2 days of fall between summer and winter. Summer, melt your face off. 2 days of fall, back to summer, and then straight into winter. So, yeah, that's where I live. In hell. But, anyway, I know I kind of got a little silly, but, this is the start of the series. And I just, I will go more in depth in later videos in this series about certain times in my life. This is basically the overview. And I really hope that I can help some of you And if you're suffering from depression and you have, trouble communicating, or you're, scared to talk about it to anybody, don't be scared. Reach out. And, don't forget, you're not alone. And thank you all for watching. I hope it was, I hope you enjoyed it, because like I said, this was an overview. This is the first in the series. And yes, I hope you subscribe, and I hope you come back to watch more of the videos that I have coming up, as well as, visit some of my old videos, get to know my personality a little bit. Also, you get to see my journey through getting new chompers, which has helped immensely with my self-esteem and my, self-confidence. I'm always smiling. It's like, yay! I have teeth. I can smile. I'm beautiful. But yes. Again, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share my videos with, share this video around, Let's band together. And let's raise awareness for depression. Real awareness. And form a community of supportiveness. And with that, I say, as always, don't judge a book by its cover. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.